Hey, what's up, guys? It's Dan from UnitedQ. It's Wednesday, which means we have another awesome podcast to get you over hump day. I'm here on my own currently, but hopefully my co-host Barbecue Forte will join us at some point during the episode. And we are brought to you by ProQ BBQ Gourmet and Smokewood Shack, our awesome sponsors. ProQ is dedicated to providing with quality smoking products with top-notch service and free advice for beginners to pitmasters. And you can find them on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram under ProQ Smokers. So if you're thinking about buying your first smoker or looking to upgrade or even looking to pick up some epic accessories, check them out over at Max Barbecue. And Barbecue Gourmet is devoted to promoting real barbecue and supplying the UK and Europe with top-notch championship-winning barbecue rubs, sauces, marinades, and accessories from the US and around the world. And you can find them on Twitter and online under Barbecue Gourmet. So regardless of how you cook, whether it's on charcoal, wood, gas, or electric, the real taste of summer can be yours all year round. And Smokewood Shack delivers quality smoking wood every time. They provide the smoky goodness and you provide the talent. So if you're looking for your smoking wood chunks, dust, chips, or planks, then head on over to smokewoodshack.com. And you can find them on Twitter at Smokewood Shack. And on this week's show, we have John Relihan. Hi, John.
Hello.
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 How you doing, mate? You all right?
Hi, good, thank you. How are you doing?
Yeah, good, thanks. Can you hear me all right? Am I coming through?
Yes.
Yeah.
No, that's perfect.
We try and it's put out as a non-explicit podcast. So don't worry if you do swear, because we don't like to edit it. We just put it out straight away. But if we can try and avoid it, then that would be great.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
All right. Wicked. Cool. Well, I'm going to start right at the very beginning. Where did your sort of love for cooking and food come from?
Okay. Well, I started when I was about 16, when I was living at home. I grew up as an only child, so my mother was working all the time, and I started cooking for her. And that was quite a fun thing, finishing school, going back, cooking, preparing food for her. Cool. She was very happy when she finished work. And throughout my time then, I was going to school as well. I ended up doing a lot of different jobs, from landscaping, building, and lots of stuff, just summer jobs,
Yeah.
And I decided that, with the Irish weather, I kind of wanted to stay indoors a little bit.
Yeah.
And just the love of food for when I was cooking for the mother and stuff, I got up a summer job working in the kitchen, and it kind of began from there. And then one day I saw on TV the Jamie Oliver kitchen in London 15. So I decided I'd apply for it. But just before that, before I ever knew that was happening, I was working with my uncle. And he was quite a hard man to work for. So I was out in the fields picking stones, and we had a bit of falling out. And he ended up buying me a cookbook, because he knew that I wanted to cook. So he got me a gift of the Jamie's Kitchen cookbook.
Okay.
So I kind of read it inside out, and then I decided I'd send off the letter to London to hopefully get on board with 15, with an amazing team of people. And then after a few months, I got the letter back asking me to come to London for an interview.
Wow, that must have been pretty big. So for people, the listeners that may not know, 15 is a sort of a cookery scheme that a school that Jamie Oliver put on and still puts on now, and it's for, targets sort of...
Yeah, it's for young people all around London and the UK that come from different backgrounds, and it's there to inspire them to become chefs. Some backgrounds are quite difficult, and it kind of brings them out and gives them a little bit of light for the future, and it gives them a ton of support to become better in what they're doing.
Awesome. And it's like an intense sort of 3-year course, is it, or something like that?
Yeah, it's a 2-year course, but then after that, they're so amazing. They support you everywhere you go, Even to this day, we still talk, and anytime I go to London, I pop in and say hello, and it's just like a big family.
Awesome.
It's quite emotional stuff, really.
Yeah, no, it sounds absolutely amazing. Genuinely sounds amazing. And they did one of the 15s on TV, and I watched that. I remember watching that years ago, and it was amazing stuff watching, even as a sort of spectator from the outside, seeing some of the stuff that was going on. Yeah,
absolutely. I've seen some amazing talent come out of that. Just giving the people the chance and that little extra push, they really shine through,
Yeah, it just shows that Jamie's just really, really genuine, nice guy, and always out to help people.
exactly.
And he helped you out with your sort of first job after that, didn't he? You went to Encanto in San Francisco?
Yeah, that's correct, yeah. After 15, then I worked pretty hard there, and I got a scholarship to go to America, so I lived in San Francisco, working at Encanto with Chris Cosentino. And that was an amazing journey. That was, working in a very old school Italian restaurant, doing old kind of grandma dishes, to using tripe and using head to tail and using every part of the animal and cooking whole animals and going out to the market and buying a ton of stuff and coming back and creating a menu there and then for the dinner service.
But you can see even now that that's influenced the way you cook now, because you do a lot of sort of whole animal stuff now. So it's interesting to see that even though it wasn't sort of barbecue as such or something along those lines, it's actually that style of cooking and using whole animals and respecting the animal and stuff like that you picked up and still influences your cooking now.
Yeah, look, I eat animals, and I do a lot of vegetarian food as well. But at the end of the day, when I use an animal, I like to use everything of the animal. I use everything. I make my own black pudding, like the old style Relihan or Irish dish or black pudding that you would have, or sanguinaccia in Italian. I make all of these things, and making salamis and cured meats and eating everything, basically. Eating everything. And the more whole of the animal I cook, the better, the longer it takes first off to cook it, but the more flavor that goes into it. So by cooking it whole, you get so much flavor. And it's just a beautiful thing to do, over some open fire or at home. It doesn't, it matters on how you cook it, but it's just an incredible feeling to do,
and just, I know like the flavour-wise and stuff, but also just to look at with your eyes and see. We eat with our eyes and seeing the whole animal in the pit and everything being cooked together, and it's just takes you back. It's just like one of those things, like a real sort of primal feeling. You look at it with your eyes, you see that this whole animal. It's an amazing sort of spectacle, real theatre, and it sort of adds to the whole experience as well. I feel
no, absolutely. It is like fire is a very, very special thing, and it's underrated, really. Back in the day, people would look at fire, and even now, it's still in our minds. You look at it, and it brings comfort, and it brings warmth, and it brings people, and it brings food, and it's a survival thing. And then especially when you cook a whole animal, people come and they gather and they all eat together. People don't eat too much together anymore. They're eating on the go, and it's either people are sitting down around a big table and half the children or half the table are on their phones. They need to turn the phone off when you eat. First off, sit down, eat together, and actually talk like humans around.
Yeah. Well, that was one thing we always did when we grew up. Is that every dinner, every meal, we all sat down. It was, even if we all sat in our own separate rooms for the rest of the evening, we all sat down around a table together and enjoyed the sort of evening meal. Phones away, chatted, talking. That's what it's all about. It brings everyone together. Food is about bringing people together.
Correct, absolutely, and that's one of the main things as well that 15 and Jamie pushes out is food brings people together. He does an awful lot of stuff. But that was all through America as well, with Chris. And after that, then it was I moved on to St. John's restaurant in London with Fergus Henderson and a big team of chefs in there, which was an incredible experience. Again, it was more of a head-to-tail restaurant. Getting up at 6 a.m, being there for 7 and skinning like 50 hares, and 20 rabbits, is an amazing way to start your morning, but you get used to it, and just getting ready for lunch service and doing some incredible food with very talented, passionate people again.
But to get up at that sort of time in the morning, go into work and skin, like you said, like 50 hares or whatever, it's got to show. You've got to be passionate about what you're doing to do that. It's got to be a real drive.
Yeah.
It's again, it's just a sort of fantastic thing to do.
Correct. It's not an easy thing to do first thing in the morning, but you need to love it, and you need to find
you need to have that drive and passion, or else you wouldn't be there.
Correct. But then, after that, we've done a small TV show on Jamie's Chef, it's called, and that was where Jamie gave us the opportunity to open up our own restaurant in Essex. And during that time, actually, I was very young. I was 22. Well, not young, just a grown man, really. But at that point, I decided that I would actually back out of the TV show and actually go back to America and live there again. And actually, I went back as a sous chef to San Francisco for my old boss, Chris. And that was another roller coaster of a ride. So it was a completely different level. His level has picked up an awful lot, as in he's really well known and a massive pride in what he does and passionate. So I went there and I took over with him, and it was one of the most incredible experiences. It actually really brought me out to be a man at that point, because I was just always working on those jobs, and then you had to step up to the plate, but also to be able to run a kitchen properly.
Yeah, it's a massive learning curve.
Yeah, and actually lead the kitchen, You'd rather be a leader than a boss, and teach people and inspire them and push them forward and actually run the kitchen with them was an amazing experience.
I bet.
And I literally cried coming back on the plane from America for many hours, not wanting to leave because my visa ran out. So I had to come back. But then I got a phone call.
Everything happens for a reason. So then this phone call came through.
Exactly, everything happens, and I got this nice phone call, and that was about Barbacoa. That was in London, and Jamie told me everything that he was doing on that. And if I wanted to be a part, and I was linked up with Adam Perry Lang at that point, which is another an amazing, passionate, loving fella who is just a ball of inspiration, really. And that's kind of where I kind of fell into barbecue and slow cooking. Always had the slow cooking aspect of it, but the barbecue, the really low and slow with the wood and the charcoal and the products. And then I started doing my own little twists in Barbacoa, because we had quite a big kitchen in Barbacoa. We used to serve, they could serve up to 1,000 people a day now in there. And we had a wood fire oven, a Japanese robota grill. We had a big massive smoker, 2 tandoories, an Argentine grill, and a fire pit.
Wow! So had you used many of these things before then, or you literally chucked in right at the deep end?
At that point, no. At that point, I've spent about 6 months with Adam in a small, little, tiny kitchen, in a test kitchen, just me and him cooking.
Okay.
And it was probably the most happiest 8 months of my life, where I was just going to the market, buying everything that I needed, coming back, cooking everything.
And experimenting. That's got to be every chef's dream.
It was incredible. I didn't sleep. I was up at 5 o'clock in the morning, topping the fire up of wood, and going to bed at 2 o'clock in the morning after putting in everything over the night. Go home, have a quick shower, go to bed, and wake up in excitement.
I bet, yeah.
Yeah, drinking tons of coffee, of course. But full of excitement to get off there again and actually do something. And then we opened up the restaurant, and then, it's a very big restaurant, and, I ran it.
1,000 people a day, that's just crazy.
Yeah, and a very, very high standard as well. And we used to have our own butcher shop where we used to dry age all our own meat and everything. And the amount of passion that went into all of this and work and effort was just incredible. And I still love it to this day, even though I've not been working there for a year and a half. I was just there a few weeks ago eating dinner to say hello to everyone, and it was just amazing place and amazing people. So yeah,
just people that don't know, Barbacoa is still open and still running, and it's right by St Paul's Cathedral in London, City of London. And like you said, there's the butchers there as well. I've been into the butchers, and they do butchery classes and stuff there, which is really cool.
Yeah, the butcher now has actually moved on, so that's actually closed. But there's a massive takeaway shop there now as well, and they got a very small little stand with all their meats. But they still use the same suppliers for their meat upstairs in the restaurant, and the restaurant is still open every single day. And it's an amazing team in there with some really passionate chefs, all the guys that I used to work with. So it's quite exciting when you go in and you see them still there and pushing away strong.
Yeah.
And doing some incredible new dishes. That's what life and food is all about right there.
Definitely. I just have to jump in because Ben's just arrived. Ben's
hello,
here now.
I'm here.
So he was
fashionably late.
He was busy doing something else, so he's just arrived.
No worries.
How you doing? Yeah, you're right. I've just got in just in time to listen to a bit of the Barbacoa chat, and Barbacoa is probably one of my favourite open fire restaurants I've ever been to. I loved it there. It was actually the first restaurant that I went to where my wife paid the whole bill for me.
Wow.
And I was super excited because she wasn't, because she paid £26 for a burger, and I was like, yeah, but it's the best burger I've ever eaten. I think it had like truffles or something like that on it. I think it was amazing.
That was the deluxe. That was the proper one.
It was Wagyu beef and truffle. Awesome.
That was beautiful Welsh Wagyu. That was pickled porcinas. I remember that one. It's kind of hard to forget.
Yeah.
And he had like duck liver pate underneath, and the best of everything.
Yeah,
the best of everything.
It was definitely I think it's still up there as probably the best burger I've ever eaten.
Oh my God, I'm getting hungry.
Yeah. Is it not still on the menu then? Is that one gone?
No, that's gone now. That's gone now. But yeah, they got amazing other stuff on there. Large cuts of meat and everything. Anything you want.
I can't remember what she had. She had a fish dish, but I can't remember what it was now. I was too interested in my burger to think about it. But
amazing.
Yeah, and I love the setup in there. I love being able to watch everything behind the glass, so you could see everyone cooking and all the different styles of cookers that they had in there. It was, to me, I was just in awe. I said to them, I was like, I really like barbecue and stuff. She said, come and have a look. And so she was showing me around, and I was just just a kid in a sweet shop.
Incredible. there's no secrets in there anyway, so you can see right through. And that's the best thing as well when you're eating, is watching the chefs work hard and cook all your food,
I got moved, our seat got moved because they first sat us down with a really nice view of St Paul's Cathedral, thinking that's what we'd want to see, and we sat down and I was like, I can't see the kitchen from here. Is there any chance you could move us? She's like, most people want to sit around here. I was like, no, I just want to watch all them cooking.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah. That was Barbacoa, which is incredible. But after that was the Big Grill Festival in Dublin, and that was last year. So once I moved on from Barbacoa, done a few different small events after, but went to the Big Grill. And actually, just before I went to the Big Grill, I actually, in fact, created my own festival down in Kerry.
I think I'd heard something like your local, where the village you grew up in, or something. The church bell tower or something.
Correct.
I've heard something.
So it was basically I done a thing here in Ireland called the Gathering, where they invite you back to bring people back together. And I decided I was on the stage, and I said, look, I will do a small demonstration of a ribeye and some chicken. And they said, is that all you're going to cook? And I said, well, I will. It's a demonstration, I'm not cooking for the whole village. But, on that call, I said, if anyone wants me to come back next year, and I'll pull some sponsors together, then I will cook for the entire village. And so a year moved on, and I actually ended up coming back, cooking for the entire village. But it turned into much more than that. So I had some amazing suppliers like Daw Meats and Truly Irish here as well in Ireland, and Daw Meats is a big UK and Ireland company. And Taurus Barbecue sponsored me barbecues sent in from Germany. I brought in guys from all around the world. So all of a sudden it started off as a small little village barbecue. It ended up to be quite a big festival.
Awesome.
Where these New Zealand fellas came in who I met, who done the hungy, Bruce Simpson and Frank. Incredible. They performed the haka. They taught everyone what the actually really stands for. They done hungy. We done block pits, smokers, grills, asados. We had the green eggs there. We had grills, and we fed everyone.
You weren't letting anyone say to you, "You're only doing this year." Then you went full. You're like, "This is not happening again."
Absolutely not. We went through 20 whole pigs maybe.
Wow.
In 2 days, we went through about 15 whole briskets on the bone, maybe 300 kilo of beef, probably about 500 chickens.
It's not a small village then.
Yeah, no. The village has, I think, about 300, and it has 3 pubs, and they ran out of drink on the Saturday twice, and they ran out of drink on the Sunday. So they had to get more drink every single time they ran out.
I need to come to this festival. I think it sounds epic.
I'm telling you, I'm planning something big for next year.
Ooh. Awesome.
So it's going to be very interesting. But again,
if you need a couple of guys that can pretend they can cook, then me and Ben can always go over. We can talk a good talk, but if you can actually do the cooking demo bit, we can just talk.
Yeah, absolutely.
Here's one we did earlier, cooked by John.
But no, it was just so much fun. Cooking a ton of meat and veg, of course. And it was just a good laugh, and
awesome.
People came in from all around the world, Niall Gallagher as well came in from America, who's a king of barbecue from down south, and he flew into Shannon Airport and came straight down to the village, and he went out again, taxi up to Dublin, and flew off to Germany, and that was like an incredible pit stop and an honor to have these guys fly in just for a few hours to see what we're doing.
Awesome.
Buses coming from all around the country just to come and see what we're doing, and demonstrations and Ready Steady Cook challenges, and we gave out, of course, Jamie's books and T-shirts and free barbecues and charcoal, and we gave away so much. But that's what it's all about, having good fun. And I met a guy there called Andy Noonan then, who has Foul Play in Dublin.
Andy's a cool guy.
He's pretty cool, In fact, we're going to Brazil next Sunday, me and him. And
bit of market research, or?
Yeah, completely. We are going to Churrasco as well. So we've been invited out to cook at Churrasco, which was at the Big Grill this year.
Wow.
With Carlos and Diego and Gustav. They were all out there. So they got their own festival in Brazil, in São Paulo. And it's an incredible, incredible festival with incredible people. So we're going to fly out next Sunday, have a few days to get over any jet lag thing, and plan and prepare what we're going to be cooking. So definitely looking forward to that. But last year was the Big Grill, and it was just really good. Cooking back in Dublin was very nice. First time actually working back in Ireland. And I just met a few people, and we done an interview, and I got linked up down here in Cork. So now I'm back in Ireland.
So it was just due to the fact that was the sort of first time you've been back cooking, and is that what drew you back to Ireland? You just couldn't get away again? You were like, nah, that's it, now I'm here?
I still have all my belongings in London. I can't let go of London. I love London way too much, and I'm going to be back very shortly as well. Well, with the interview I done up in Dublin with Caroline Hennessy and everyone, a few people in Cork saw me doing the interview, and they wanted to open up a restaurant in Cork. And Cork is an up-and-coming city. There's amazing people down here with really good food. The food scene has picked up. I was just down in West Cork there yesterday, and had some incredible food at a place called Pilgrims down there, near Rosscarbery, and that was just incredible. Very nice to see, small little country towns and villages actually doing some incredible food with incredible talented chefs. But apparently West Cork is the place to be with chefs coming in from all around the world, kind of not wanting the quiet life, but wanting to get the country life. They live there and set up a restaurant, and they just forage their own food and go hunting and cook.
That's amazing. That's what it's all about.
And that's what they were doing, you know. And there was only 2 chefs in the kitchen, and the restaurant was fully packed, and the food was to die for. So yeah, these guys in Cork, Eddie and Billy, saw me on the interview and called me up and came to London to meet me and said what they kind of wanted. So I flew back and had to have a look at what they really wanted and kind of do a few changes, and then I opened up a barbecue restaurant.
Holy Smoke.
Holy Smoke. Now, the barbecue in the UK is much different to Ireland, because Ireland is just a few years behind on the barbecue scene. In London, it's always really far ahead. So
we're down in Plymouth, so we're about 10 years behind. Don't worry.
We're just catching up with Cork at the moment.
Yeah, we're trying to catch up with Cork.
But you know, look, we decided that we would keep it very simple and basic, barbecue, and just do it right. You know, we use our local farmers for our meat products. You know, we use our local suppliers for cheese. You know, for the burgers or for the briskets or for the chicken. You know, in fact, the chicken actually, I found out, comes from my village in Kerry, where I had the festival. You know, that's how local it is.
Yeah.
And it's a proper free-range chicken. And I said, geez, I better go check this thing out now, because I have my theories with free-range. You know, sometimes it's not really free-range, even though people say it is.
Yeah.
And I went there and I saw it, and I was like, God, I could live here as a chicken any day. This is amazing.
It's a spa for chickens.
Yeah, walking around, eating hearty food and
massages.
Living life. Massages in the sun, beating down
cucumbers on their eyes.
Exactly. I said, these are the chickens I'm going to use for my smoker anyway.
Awesome.
And that was what it was all about right there, you know. And so we honed it in. We done very straightforward, simple, good barbecue, you know.
At the end of the day, that is what barbecue is about. If you, take it back to where it began, that is what barbecue is. It's a very simple sort of original way to cook. I mean, it's about fire. It's about controlling fire, patience.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of gimmicks and a lot of great things out there now, and some of them are fantastic, and I use them. But again, at the end of the day, you know, that's what barbecue is.
You know, one of the main things with barbecue was always the cheaper cut of meat, and actually cooking it low and slow tenderizes out really nicely. So you keep all the juice within it, and you can wrap it up and put a bit of butter in there, and cook it over some apple and cherry wood. That's what we do here, and that's all you need.
Awesome.
Nice
what
big
sort
salad.
of pits are you using at Holy Smoke?
So I'm using an American Cook Shack smoker. So I have 2 Cook Shacks, and I got a beautiful Japanese Robota grill as well. But the Robota grill has a big, massive grill on it. It has a pit, a firebox in there, and it has 3 different levels, so you can move your meat around by controlling the heat up as well. So you can slow cook your chickens on top and hang your sausages and hang your ribs. But it also has holes on the side of those bars that you can actually put in a rotisserie as well.
Oh, wow, cool.
So there's a guy in London called Mark. He's Lord Logs on Instagram. Yeah,
okay,
Mark
cool.
Parr, that's it. Yeah, so he built that grill for me. And I got it shipped over straight away. And all the charcoal I'm using is Matt Williams from Oxford Charcoal Company, who was just down here in Cork with me 2 days ago.
I saw you had he was stumbling around. I think he had drunk a bit too much.
Yeah, definitely.
Doesn't sound like him.
You know, but again, you know, it's all about using those right people for the right jobs, you know.
Oh, and you can't get better than those 2 guys. Those 2 guys are just... Matt is just like an absolute... Every time I speak to him, I just get lost in charcoal. Like, I could talk to him forever. It's crazy. I love it.
It's my favourite podcast we've done with him. I've re-listened to it so many times. I just learned so much from this guy.
We're going to need like a part 2 and a part 3 and a part 4 with him, because I could just talk forever with him. It's crazy.
No, that's incredible. You know, he gave me so much 2 days ago off the back of his Land Rover, and that was orange wood charcoal, cherry charcoal. He gave me some mixed species charcoal as well. You know, he gave me some more limes that he turned into charcoal, some pomegranates. So basically, anything organic, you can turn it into charcoal. And he just plays and experiments and lives in the woods and has the time of his life.
He was schooling me and Christian, DJ Barbecue. He opened up a mixed breed charcoal, and he was pulling out bits and testing us like, what wood's this, and we just got it wrong every time. And then he was trying to explain to us what to look out for, and we were like just getting lost. We're like, no, it's just charcoal. It's yesterday actually. In fact, the orange wood charcoal is probably the most expensive. No, it's probably the second most expensive to the Japanese in the world. The Japanese charcoal that they dip in clay. And the orange wood charcoal, I used it for the mackerel yesterday. And I done a beautiful little salad next to it, but it gave off a nice hint of flavour. And the cherry wood charcoal was for, I cooked off, it was probably about a 3.5 kilo piece of ribeye on the bone. Yeah.
And that was over the cherry wood charcoal, with some cherry wood next to it as well, smouldering away with the nice smoke. And it was just incredible. Lovely thing to do, you know.
Awesome. I've been experimenting. I've got a load of some of the woods that he's turning into charcoal, and I'm currently just experimenting with a bit of a rub that I'm using charcoal in, so it's like a charcoal-based rub. And
lovely.
And the orange wood's actually my favourite at the minute. All the charcoals break up differently into different consistencies when you grind them down. Some of them stay a bit more bitty, some of them go to powders, and you get the flavour coming through from the orange. Just a little hint of it, and it's probably my favourite so far.
Wow. Yeah, no, that sounds amazing.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to. He's got the Cuban Marabou just sort of coming out, and I haven't used it yet, but I've got some on order, so I'm looking forward to using that. He's telling me that due to the way it's made, it takes on their metallic sort of consistencies from the earth, where they dig pits, has to be made in the earth, and it takes the minerals from the earth into it, absorbs them, and then you get like this metallic charcoal that burns for. He said it's like crazy long burn you get out of it.
It burns about 4 times longer than your normal charcoal, and the ground that they do it in it's clay. All those minerals go directly into the charcoal. I got about 2 pallets of it here with me at Holy Smoke. It's an incredible charcoal to use as well.
Well, I've got 1 bag on its way. All right.
The texture, it just feels different as well. Like when you knock it against something, it's got like a different sound about it.
It's like a tinny sort of sound.
It is amazing stuff. I've used
and
it
also,
a couple
it's got like a sheen to it. It's like you can see that it's got like some sort of.
It's different.
You can see it's taken on the metallic. You can actually just see it with your eyes. It's got that sheen, sort of shine to it. So really interesting stuff. Looking forward to trying that one out. Yeah, no, absolutely.
That's within Holy Smoke, you know. Based in Cork.
How's it gone then? How's it been since you opened?
Very busy. You know, we're very lucky. We got a lot of publicity, and there's a lot of good people out there that are looking at what we're doing, and you know, we're taking it to the next level, you know, now as well. And you know, it's an incredible little place.
Awesome.
Very very small restaurant, 70 seats, but we can turn out quite a lot of food for a lot of people. As it's all barbecue. So there's always space within here as well for people. And, you know, we're having good fun with our cocktails, and we're always pushing the limits, you know.
Smoking cocktails, or?
Smoking cocktails, you know, using different woods within them, like plum and cherry. And Colm here, the bar guy, is a very talented guy as well, and he's experimenting an awful lot now. At the beginning, we said we take it very easy and subtle, and then once we get into the system, then we'll start experimenting a little bit more on the side and creating the perfect cocktail, you know, but keeping it simple, keeping it very simple, but yet having a little simple twist in it to give a bit of a show theatre and a bit of extra flavour to those cocktails. And you know, we're linked up here then in the front, you know, the building that I'm based in. It's an incredible place, actually. So you'll have to see it one day.
Definitely.
Upstairs we have pool tables, snooker tables, and bowling alleys and everything. That's upstairs. So you can start off upstairs, come down, go for a proper big barbecue dinner, and then you can pop into the bar just next door, and it's all open for the bar. So you can just walk right in. It's actually called the Porterhouse.
Awesome.
So the Porterhouse is based in Dublin, but they have one here that's linked up with us, and it's all under the same building. So they have over 106 different types of beer in there.
Oh, wow.
So you can eat your barbecue here, eat tons of meat, fill your belly. You can order a beer from their menu, and we deliver it straight into the restaurant for the people here.
And once you've tried over their 100 beers, you then go back upstairs and try bowling again when you're really drunk. And
then if you don't want that, upstairs of that there's karaoke rooms, so you can actually go up and sing out as loud as you want. And if you don't want to do that, you can go next door, which is all under the one roof again. You got the Woolshed, which is actually a sports bar. So they have all the sports in the world.
So you got like a whole night out, just like in
really
one place.
Got something for everyone there, haven't you?
Yeah, incredible. Yeah, you can start off with sports. You can end up eating barbecue, drink, then go up and sing away. You know.
I always get hungry after singing, so I have to come back down for more barbecue as well.
and then after the singing, come back and eat more.
Yeah. Yes. Sounds good. Yeah, something that on our podcast with Matt actually was chatting about was you're experimenting with charcoal in curing. So you're curing meats but using charcoal in the cure. Is that as the curing agent, or do you still?
I started off a little bit. I haven't done it for quite a bit now. The main one that I've done that turned out fabulous was cured salmon gravlax. So I got a whole side of salmon. I put sugar and the salt, the dill, grated beetroot, and I grated up charcoal in there as well, directly on top of the salt and the sugar, and covered it with lots of a light liqueur or a schnapps or something like this, you know. And that was actually up with Matt from Oxford. Now that salmon, I gave it 24 hours, a whole side of wild salmon. Next day I washed everything off it. It firmed up on the outside really nicely, but geez, it melted in your mouth. And you got a slight hint of the charcoal, very slight hint. I used lemon charcoal that weekend when I was doing it.
Fantastic.
Because Matt was on his experimenting side, and he had oranges and lemons turned into charcoal. Now,
awesome.
When you smack an orange or a lemon charcoal in half, you open it up, it looks like an orange and it looks like a lemon inside. It's incredible, absolutely incredible. So I just grated all of that up, the lemon charcoal.
Awesome.
And of course, you know, there's no chemicals, there's nothing weird about his charcoal. It is just wood that is turned into charcoal. You know, a very simple process for him, and you know, it's a great product. So you can use it safely, you know. You wouldn't use all of it, but you would put a fair amount on there, and it just gave a really nice flavor that you could get. But at the moment, yeah, I'm definitely going to be experimenting a little bit more.
Cool.
Once I come back from Brazil, anyway.
I saw that pomegranate with the big meat. That was cool. You still could it was smashed open, and all the individual seeds were there, and. I was chatting to Matt afterwards, and he was saying that that was the sort of first attempt. He's going to be experimenting with that one a bit more, and that was really cool.
Yeah, no, that's fun, you know, just having little bits and bobs like that, and you know, if it helps with the flavor of the food as well, you know, by all means, you know, we need to do a lot more of that, you know.
Yeah.
And that's what I brought into Cork down here, you know, with the charcoal that I'm using, you know. I know where I get everything from, you know, and I speak about it, and you know, I speak proudly of it. Because I'm confident, because I made the charcoal with Matt, and I know his little process and how he does it. It's just nice to say that you know where you got your charcoal from, and you know.
I mean, Matt was saying that he could tell you from the box serial numbers or bag serial numbers.
Yeah.
It was like the square meter or whatever, which part of forestry that it came from. So I mean, that's just incredible in itself. Like you got to be proud of that.
Yeah, you know, you're not chopping down any rainforest or any other forest that you shouldn't be chopping down. You know, there's some really bad things happening out there in the world. You know, that needs to stop. You know, and you know, doing this sustainable charcoal is great. You know, and it's a great way to cook and use it as fuel as well. You know.
Yeah. I found at the big grill you were using like the cinder block pits.
Yeah.
And for me, like when I think, I mean, the word pit is sort of now used for any sort of style of barbecue, but in my head, when I say the word pit, it's something like one of those cinder block pits that I imagine. and sort of takes it really back to like a basic sort of style of cooking.
Yeah. The block pit, it's very simple. I done one there yesterday as well for the masterclass in Rosscabre. We used a good 35, 36 blocks, build it up into a nice rectangle. It would be like five and a half blocks lengthwise. The other side 3 blocks, and you go 5 high. And then you cover it with a metal lid. Now you can build it as big as you want or as small as you want. And put a metal lid on top, 2 blocks inside with a metal grate so your animal is off the ground. It could be a pork shoulder, or lamb, or chicken, any cut of meat that you want, including your veg. Keep it off the
so you're doing the
ground.
cabbages and stuff and the garlic and stuff in there as well? Yeah.
Yeah. And then you put your fire to one end. Now, the thing is with the breeze blocks is there's holes in them. So 1 block at either side of the pit, you turn it on its side. Now, the block is square anyway, so it doesn't really matter what side you put it on. But you face the hole outwards. Then you can put another block in front of that, and that's your damper.
Control the airflow then. Awesome.
So you can, if you have the metal lid covered and your fire has gone out, and you don't want to remove the metal lid because you lose all your heat straight away, just open up your damper a little bit and let a bit of oxygen in there, and that will help build the fire up again, and that will get the heat up. So you control it. Cooking with fire, it's all about controlling your fire, and that's one of the main things, Like 2 nights ago here, it rained so much, so I was up all night controlling the fire, adding more, because the colder weather it is, the more fuel you use.
Yep.
So that was quite a tough night, before I put in a large log of wood, it's gone in like a half an hour. So I had to keep topping it up with lots of charcoal, and I was using the Malibu charcoal because it'll burn longer, no matter what the weather is. It's a high heat charcoal, and loaded up with wood and got the smoker finally up to 120 degrees after many hours. Which is another incredible guy. He's a smoker. You should have a look at him. Fingal Ferguson from Gubeen smokes cheeses and meats and everything. Very talented Irish fella down here in Cork.
We'll check him out.
Fingal Ferguson. Great. He gave me his smoker, and it's an incredible thing that he has. He hitched it onto the back of the van as well and drove it down and parked it up. And great stuff,
Awesome. You mentioned the masterclasses. What are the masterclasses you're doing?
It was in Celtic Ross Hotel in Cork.
Okay.
But I started Saturday morning, preparing everything, and we cooked everything through Saturday night, and then the masterclass was from 3 to 7, but lasted until about 9:30 last night. So I got home around 3 a.m. It was for about 40 people. And we went through the whole thing of barbecue, from brines, rubs, marinades, finishing sauces, beef, lamb, pork, chicken, fish, veg, desserts, and 6 different cooking methods all over fire.
Right, I need to get myself on one of these classes then.
I tell you, there was a lot of happy faces when they were leaving.
I bet.
They were quite nervous of cooking with fire and barbecue. But I think they'll definitely have a bit of a buzz to it now and actually say, you know what, I'm going to give it a try, because it was quite a lot of fun. There was no recipes. It was just making stuff up and having a serious amount of fun with them, and getting them to rub up tons of meat and do everything. So, yeah.
Awesome. Sounds great.
Yeah. So
they would have left like pretty much all rounded up, near enough experts.
Yeah. Everybody was supposed to be gone by 7 o'clock, and they were still there at 11 o'clock last night. All talking and mingling. But that's what fire does.
Yeah, that's what it's all about.
Yeah, it brings them together, and they loved it. Absolutely loved it. So, yeah, it was quite hard work, but it was well worth it in the end,
Awesome. Sounds good, mate.
But, yeah, doing all of these things here in Ireland is very good. Hopefully I'll be back to London as well soon enough to do more work as well next year, and take Holy Smoke to the next step as well,
Okay, so are there potentially more Holy Smokes on their way?
Can't say too much,
secret?
but no, in my mind, yeah, of course. Of course. It's a great little brand that we're going to be setting up, and it's a very good one. And I just became as well Ireland's food ambassador there a few weeks ago as well, with Fall to Ireland here in Ireland, which is a very big honour.
Yeah, very exciting.
Yeah. Working
you're a big ambassador of Irish produce anyway. I mean, I've heard many things. I mean, watched videos and heard you talking before about Irish beef and Irish produce and that sort of. Even when you're in barbecue, I mean, in other restaurants, you've imported sort of the Irish beef because you love it so much.
Yeah, absolutely. Irish beef is the best in the world. To a degree, in what they do. There's different countries feeding animals different products and different climates and different temperatures and fat contents. And just for us, I think, well, for the Irish beef anyway, it rains so much here, the grass is always green in Ireland. They're very lean animals, and there's an awful lot of marbling within them, and there's good fat content, and they're a good animal. Yeah. However, you wouldn't be using the Irish brisket you wouldn't be using the Irish beef for a slow-cooked brisket, unless if it has an awful lot of fat in there. So the American-style brisket is just delicious, when you have it. Much different. But definitely for the beef rumps and the sirloins and the roastings and all of that dry-aged, and that's just perfect,
Awesome.
Perfect, yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for coming on.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, no, it's been really good. I mean, really great chatting to you and hearing about everything. And hopefully we'll get over to your festival, and hopefully we'll get over and then we'll be able to check out Holy Smoke and try out the 100 beers, do a bit of bowling, bit of karaoke.
And then back down for some more food.
Back down for some more food.
Well, that sounds like a good weekend.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, looking forward to it.
That's just a night.
Haven't planned it yet, but it sounds good already.
Yeah, fantastic. I can't wait.
Awesome, mate. Thank you very much for giving up your time, and I know you're a very busy guy, and I'll let you go, and good luck with everything this year, and
thank you.
See you soon.
Thank you.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers, mate.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, bye.
Thanks for tuning in, guys. We've recorded yet another awesome podcast to get you over Hump Day. As always, we're brought to you by ProQ BBQ Gourmet and Smokewood Shack, our awesome sponsors. ProQ is dedicated to providing you with quality smoking products with top-notch service and free advice for beginners to pitmasters. And you can find them on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram under ProQ Smokers. So if you're thinking about buying your first smoker, looking to upgrade, or even looking to pick up some epic accessories, check them out over at Max Barbecue. And BBQ Gourmet is devoted to promoting real barbecue and supplying the UK and Europe with top championship-winning barbecue rubs, sauces, marinades, and accessories from the US and around the world. And you can find them on Twitter and online barbecue under BBQ Gourmet. Regardless of how you cook, whether it's on charcoal, wood, gas, or electric, the real taste of barbecue can be yours all year round. And Smokewood Shack delivers quality smoking wood every time. They provide the smoky goodness, and you provide the talent. So if you're looking for smoking wood chunks, dust, chips, or planks, then head on over to smokewoodshack.com. And you can find them on Twitter at Smokewood Shack. So goodbye from me.
Goodbye from me.
See you next time.
Cheers.
Just
I hope you didn't say anything mean about me when I wasn't here at the beginning.
Well, I'll just let everyone know that you weren't here because you were sort of watching the videos I put out, trying to learn stuff about barbecue, because you know nothing, and you respect me as like an amazing barbecue chef. So you were just reading through you wanted to take a bit of time to like read through my recipes and watch my videos and just listen to me talk a bit on the podcast. You often cut your bits out
because I was having to tell everyone all the bits you'd missed out all the time on the videos. So it's. I was spending quite a lot of time answering questions for you because you're just too busy.
And you're making things up, are you? Okay.
Yeah,
all right. Anyway.
Well, I hope you said some nice stuff when I wasn't here anyway.
Didn't really mention you, to be honest. Yeah. All right. Bye.
See you next time.